Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. CHGO Bears training camp coverage is presented by Ray Chevrolet. Shop the Freedom to Save sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. What's up, Bears fans? One day away from the Bears' first preseason game, and they did have a practice at House Hall today before they left town. It was a split practice, and we were there for it. So a little abnormal to have a practice day before a game, but that's what the Bears did, and we will break it down. DJ Moore had a fun press conference today that we are going to bring some sound to you from. But first, want to make sure right off the top, everyone remembers today is the last day to sign up for our London trip. If you've been on the fence, just go ahead and book it. That's all I'm going to say. TrueFanTravel.com. You will not regret it. October 9th through the 15th. We're headed to London. We're going to watch football. We're having a great time. You're getting all types of fun things a part of this. We're going to have a river cruise on the River Thames. Carm will learn how to say that by the time we get there. But in the meantime, we want you to come with us. So if you've been on the fence, today's the last day. Sign up.
And just a reminder, when you're signing up, you're just putting the deposit down. It's $500. You can create your own sort of menu at some point, tickets, flights, hotels. So you could be in different little portions of the trip. There's not a one size fit all here. So get on in. I'm also guaranteed anybody who signs up today, Greg Braggs will buy you at least 3 beverages in London. He promised me that, or I'm promising that I'll make him do that. So we'd love to have you. Looking forward to it greatly. And it's going to be a week to remember.
Yeah, I can't wait, you guys. So if you're on the fence, like, this is your time. It's like not a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's definitely one of those things that you don't want to regret as you kind of go through the season. You see how much fun we're having in London, so book it now.
Also, shout out to our new diehards today. John, Michael, Andre, and Alvaro all jumping on with us today. And got the Bears Things newsletter this morning in the inbox. It's one of the many perks you get, plus free shirt, 20% off all merch, 20% off all events, which includes our tailgates now live. You can go ahead and buy your tickets for our tailgates this season as well, and that's 20% off perk when you are a CHGO diehard.
And, Hoge's not mentioning it, but my 3 takeaways from each practice has really been just a phenomenal read day in and day out. I don't think Hoge's read one of them yet, but when he does read one, he's going to really love it, just like you will too.
I read one because I had to edit it, and, that was a fun experience.
I think I'm getting better each day on them. I'm going. Today's is going to be a super special one because that was one of the worst practices I've ever seen in my life. But at least the press conference was sweet. So I know that you guys loved today's practice and you have some deep analysis of what was going on out there. So I'm looking forward to hearing it, by the way, in our best and worst. Why don't you kick us off, Adam Hoge, and give us your best and worst from today, sir?
Well, the best thing from practice today, or just in everything we covered, was DJ Moore's press conference. So I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts here because we will break it down a little bit later on in the show. However, it was good to hear from DJ Moore, who signed a $110 million extension yesterday, $82 million guaranteed. That puts him third among wide receivers in terms of guaranteed money right now. And it was good hearing from him today. A lot of different things to talk about, but I thought, for the purposes of this, his understanding of admitting to us that, he was not totally jacked up to be a Bear when he got here. Things have been going well. He obviously believes in what the Bears are doing, excited about the future, and was totally okay with not being at the top of the market. A lot of receivers getting crazy money, and he was like, yeah, it wasn't really on my mind to be top of the top, but he did feel like he had outperformed the deal he was already on. And I think everybody would agree with that. I think Ryan Poles would agree with that, which is why they went ahead and got this done with 2 years left on his existing deal. So a lot of fun stuff from DJ Moore in this, with this deal. Now, the worst today was that I had to watch practice by myself. I don't know if I smelled today or what, but everybody was all the way down here. I didn't really understand that. There were 2 practices going on, 2 eyes. You got to have one eye on the left field, one eye on the right field. And everybody was just over here watching Caleb Williams. Only guy on the team who matters, Caleb Williams. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow when there's a game being played by all the players who are on field 2, who's got all the notes on what was going on over there.
I think I'm pretty close with your notes because I actually asked Mark, Adam, for his laminated roster sheet to help me mark down all the guys that are practicing on field 2. So I might have to compare notes there, but I'll go with there it is. That's what I asked for, Mark. You bent it a little bit. Did you sit on it?
Yeah, but the point is that I didn't lose mine and Nick did. So
No, it's in the car. It's in the car. It's in the car.
Oh yeah, but Hoge's irritated with me today. I sleep with this thing. This thing is in my bed at night. Like I just like wait. Who's 87? Oh, it's Brendan Bates. It's right there for me. This is amazing. I love this thing.
Huh? Well, you're gonna need to know number 87 tomorrow.
Exactly right. You're gonna sit there when we're watching the game, pre-game, post-game, the whole thing with my card. It's gonna be sweet. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no, all good. My best from today. I don't know if we haven't mentioned him as much, but even just watching the few one-on-ones that were happening on the first field with the day 1 starters, like Jalen Johnson is a damn good corner. Like he was going up a few reps against the $110 million man and DJ Moore, and there was a rep where Jalen Johnson almost intercepted the ball. He read the route that DJ was running. And I don't know if we've talked about Jalen as much this camp, but he has been the best corner by far, and he's not being targeted very much either. So I really just like the reps and just kind of how he goes about his business and just covers guys from the start to practice all the way to the end. My worst, you guys, in the team period, even though the first team offense was able to get down the field in a situational period, there were 3 batted passes. And I think when we kind of go back through each day of practice, maybe there's some that you don't have a batted ball, but Zach Pickens got his hand on one. I think I had Javon Dexter for another one today, but there have been some batted balls at the line of scrimmage. And, is that a Caleb's thing? Is it the offensive line not finishing their blocks? Who knows? Is it just good timing and good play by the defensive line? Could be all of those things, but we have seen some batted passes, and obviously the rep does not get complete. So that's my worst from today.
Yeah, let me just underline that. Too many batted balls, and Eric Washington was asked about, and he was celebrating the defense, but then somebody asked, well, do you think that the other teams are going to be using that against kids? Well, I hope not. It's like, okay, that'll be something to pay attention to, basically all season long. But let me give you my best, and as much as I missed Hoge today, my best is that I got to sit with the legend today. I went legend move. There was 3 chairs that you could sit on that actually had a seat back. I decided that I was worthy of one of those. And then the great Dan Pompei, now from The Athletic, sat next to me. We got to talk old school Bears. He started covering the team in 1985. It was really a lovely conversation that kept practice fun for me because there was really not a whole lot going on out there. So shout out to Dan Pompei for making my day. The other side of this is, look, I am rooting for. I find him to be a fine fellow. I love his shake ability. He busted himself wide open again today, his name being Tyler Scott. And once again, he's dropping football. Must catch football. Does not catch football enough. And it just makes me worried that he will not be able to catch football when catching football really matters. So that's in there. And I thought it was a really weird ending of practice. We were basically, the players left the field. The media got up thinking it was over. And then we walked, they have us on the platforms a decent ways away, so it's a fair walk in. By the time we got to where we actually go inside, they were back on the field. And according to Adam Hoge, if I may, Hoge, you told me, or at least you postulated that they were working on coming out of the tunnel. And this went on for a while, and it was hot. And I like attention to detail, I guess. But I just thought this was such an incredible waste of time that it made me question what the hell. They're not going to play in the game tomorrow. I'd like to see him play, but we're going to work on how we come out of the tunnel. What is this? I don't know. Junior high. It was very bizarre to me how practice ended today.
So what they were actually doing,
Here we go.
was they were walking through their entire pregame routine from coming out of the tunnel to stretching to going through your pat and goes, all the things you do before the game, because you have a new roster. You have a lot of players who haven't done this before. You have a lot of your returning players who aren't even playing tomorrow. So you walk through it so everybody knows exactly how the pregame routine goes. So everybody knows how you take advantage of those minutes before a game. That's what they were doing. Makes perfect sense the day before your first game of the season. And after tomorrow, everyone will know because they will have done it.
All right. Here's how I would have done it. You're on the third string. This is what we're doing. If you can't figure it out, you're cut. That's the end of that. If you can't figure out where to go for warm-ups and how to get out of the tunnel and follow the order of operations, then I don't have any confidence that you're going to ever be able to remember a play and do anything when I need you to do it. So you're out. But
Mark, they can't look like an ass out there, being all discombobulated. Hall of Fame. There's the first football game of the 2024 NFL. So you better know where you're going at the Hall of Fame game. Devin Hester's getting it. Like, you better know. I don't mind the attention to detail at the end of practice. They better get it right.
It was hot out there. I wanted to go back in the meeting room.
That's what I heard.
It was 95
You could have.
degrees.
Nobody was making you stay out there.
I did. Me and a couple others went in early. Shout out to my guy Josh Rock. We went in. If Caleb blows out his ACL, let me know. This was ridiculous what was going on there. And that's fine. I'm not complaining about that I had to watch it because I didn't have to watch it. I'm looking out for my guys who, long season, do we really have to spend 15 minutes out here in the hot sun learning how to come out of the tunnel? That's all I'm saying.
It was the only 15 minutes we were in the sun. We were under shade the entire time.
Not us, them. I'm worried about them.
Sure you are. Yeah, that's why you went inside. Last guy to arrive, first guy to leave. Me guy, Carm.
Why don't we spend 10 more minutes in the sun learning how to go to the bathroom? This is how you unstrap your pants, and this is how you do it back up, so we can all be on the same mindset, functional.
Laugh. That's a real thing on game day. How to efficiently relieve yourself in the middle of the game so that you don't miss any plays.
Okay, this is where you football coach types really take things too seriously. If you can't figure out how to pee, you're cut too. You're out of here. These are not high school kids. They're in the pros. They've played 4 years of college. You think they don't know how to get out of the tunnel and follow their way to whatever exercise they're supposed to do first?
All right, here's a level of detail. You know what I learned today?
Yeah.
There's a new play that you're allowed to have 12 guys on the field. Can you guys figure this out? There is now one specific play in football where you can have 12 guys on the field.
Kickoff?
Be more specific?
The holder for the kickoff?
Yes. When the ball, good job by you.
Take that, Pizzatola.
That was the last guy I would have figured that out. I had Braggs jumping in the comments before you figured that out, but good job. Yeah. So what happens now with the kicker standing all by himself in the back if the wind's blowing and the ball falls off the tee? You're going to have to bring one of those guys from way downfield back. That seems like a disadvantage. So they now are allowing a 12th man to be on the field, hold the ball, do nothing else. They have to immediately leave the field. They cannot be involved in tackle or the rest of play or anything like that. These are some of the things that, from what my understanding is, they're still working out the kinks behind the scenes. And we might still have some minor rule changes that happen with this kickoff rule between now and week 1. So it's not just a matter of teams figuring this out, but actually the NFL might still be adjusting things here and there throughout the preseason based on how this all goes down.
I think as an alternate on the U.S. Open 2024 ball crew, I think I am a viable candidate to be the dude that holds the football too. So if Flus wants to call me, anybody else, Richard Hightower, H. Mack, right here. Carm, holder, football. I got you.
You would definitely let go of the ball too soon because you'd be worried that the kicker was going to kick your hand.
That's a real thing. I was scared when I was the holder. I was like, oh, shit.
That would be
not
you.
Kick my finger off.
Might be cold. Could be cold out there, and I want to get back into the tunnel. That's another thing. Or hot.
Oh, now he's too cold. He was too hot 5 minutes ago. Now he's too cold. Okay. All right. Hey, we love family farms and want to make sure you're up to speed on what's going on with family farms. One of our fine sponsors here. If you're watching on YouTube right now and you're just looking at that bacon wrapped chicken, oh, man, that's what I want for dinner. Because Family Farms, their culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and a commitment to crafting the finest bacon wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized taste buds since 1974. Join them on this flavorful adventure where every bite tells a story of tradition, quality, and the enduring spirit of Family Farms. The tradition continues. Now you can find Family Farms bacon wrapped chicken even easier. Look for them in the meat department at your local Woodman's, Moreano's, or Burcott's. Craving a taste of home without leaving yours? Check out baconwrappedchicken.com or click on the link for their Amazon store, which also includes the legendary Rocky Rococo's Italian sausage. You can find out when the new amazing Cajun Nation flavors will become available with an authentic Louisiana bite. Experience the flavor that's become a family favorite for generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's, Moreano's, Burcott's, or on Amazon, baconwrappedchicken.com.
Delicious indeed. And indeed, we are driven by the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors. That's according to Indeed data, so it's right there for you. And a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, for screening, for messaging. You can connect with candidates a whole lot faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster, they're helping you hire better. 93% of employers agreed Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. And listeners of this show, you will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibly at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
All right, a lot of good stuff from DJ Moore's press conference today. Interesting day at Hallis Hall. They split up the practice fields. You had guys playing in the game tomorrow on one field, guys like Caleb Williams and the starters in pads going through, a more regular practice on the other field. Although I will say, for a padded practice, they didn't do much. So I don't think it seemed like a little bit of a waste of pads. But regardless, it's how they handle it. They didn't completely waste a day of practice for the guys not playing tomorrow night. And then they were in a hurry because they are headed to Canton. They're getting on a plane. They're flying there. They got some Hall of Fame stuff going on tonight. The Bears will have a bus loaded to go to the Hall of Fame. I don't think it's a mandatory thing, but I think anybody who wants to go check out the Pro Football Hall of Fame, they're going to talk to Devin Hester. Richard Dent was mentioned, Jimbo Covert, some of the other Bears Hall of Famers. So there is some Hall of Fame festivities for the Bears tonight. Of course, tomorrow's focus will be on the game, and then they come right back. So the rest of the weekend stuff will be done without the team there. And that created kind of a short post-practice window for availability. So we talked to Eric Washington and DJ Moore today. Both were very good. We got some good stuff coming from that. And DJ Moore, not surprisingly, in a great mood, getting $110 million. I can't imagine the mood I would be in if that ever happened.
It's only a matter of time, Manchin. Don't worry.
100. Yeah, I'll take one. We'll take one. One would be good.
One would be nice.
I love when they say, it's the security that I needed. dude, you've been making $13 million a year for multiple years. You're pretty damn ass secure. But I would just rather be, and this is not a shot at DJ at all. I love DJ, but I wish, it's just incredible to know that I have complete and utter FU money and literally can buy my own island right now. So this is just something I never imagined. It ain't about, it better not be about security at this point. It better be about, I can literally buy 3 islands and decide which one I want to lay on today after I'm done playing.
Money.
I mean,
it's all those guys that go up there.
I really want to know what that's like. Just like when you see that dollar hit your bank account, that's, I mean, I don't think any of us realistically can even remotely imagine what that's like. Okay, so yeah.
Like how many zeros are in the back of that? One, two.
Well, but that's why also when he says like that he went to Popeyes, we can play that. But like it makes him so likable because it's like, okay, you've got all this money, but you're still kind of like us, like in a little bit of way. You still celebrated at Popeyes the same way that Greg Bragg celebrates 3 times a day. I mean, it's really a beautiful thing.
Well, I was set to go to Popeyes tonight after that whole conversation, but then we had the bacon wrap chicken conversation with Family Farms, and that has now trumped Popeyes.
That's
so,
true.
But can I just back up 1 second and go completely off the rails? Did I miss you put a tiara on your head a few minutes ago?
Yeah, you were reading a great ad, and I was trying to like DJ Mord the King type of thing. I was trying to play around with this would be a something, but I don't really like the look, so I took it off. But there it is for you, Hoge.
You look beautiful.
And then you follow that up by saying you want to make $1 million.
Yeah, no, it doesn't add up at all. This is this is straight to working at Popeyes and not making you.
Hey, you probably get free Popeyes.
Let's let you redeem yourself because I know you pulled some audio from DJ Moore.
All right, I can.
If you have this all set up and ready to go, but we do want to bring some of this to you because DJ Moore was entertaining today.
Well, Steven, let's start with let's rewind back to his real reaction. Let's play that first if we can. When he found out that the Carolina Panthers had made a trade with the Chicago Bears to move up from 9-1, sending their best player along with their top draft pick or whatever you get it. Moving up to get Bryce Young, but saying goodbye to DJ Moore. What was his real reaction?
When I got here, and I was like, "Yeah, it's no going back." When I first, I gave my reaction. I don't care. When I first got the call, I was like, "Oh shit!" But then I was just like, "Yeah, new beginnings, new everything." So I just took it on with a head full of steam with my family, and we was all just bought in. Once we got here, it was no looking back. Like we here now, like for the long haul, for real.
For real. And then he continued on from there, basically saying like, look, I just moved into my own house and I'm just getting settled in and now I got to go to Chicago. So, Yeah,
apparently they just moved into a new house in Carolina and that immediately got traded, which also explains, remember his first press conference where he mentioned like the real estate prices or the tax prices or whatever it was. And you move into a new place, you get that nice mortgage rate, and well, in his case, he might not needed that, but you get the nice rate. You're paying Carolina taxes compared to Lake County,
right?
I could understand why all of that adds up to shit.
Yeah, I mean the amount of land that I don't exactly know because I wasn't invited to his place in Carolina. Good move by DJ. None of us were, but like he had a lot more land and a big ass house, and now he's moving to like Lake Forest. 3 times the price, 4 times, whatever it was. But so now he's here 6 years. DJ, do you feel like you're an actual Chicagoan? Are you all in on right here, the best city in the world?
Are you officially a Chicagoan now? Can you say that?
No, not yet. Maybe one more year. Gotta go to some places first to get approved.
So he's saying that he's got to go places to get approved. Chat, where does DJ need to go in your mind, Hoge, Nick, so he can be officially feel like he's an official Chicago, because you're pushing on being here a decade now. I mean, I don't know. There's got weird look on Hoge's face, don't you? Do you think he needs to go to the Willis? Do you think he needs to take the architecture tour? Does he need to go
pushing on being here a decade?
Well, he
by
will,
the end
I
of his
guess, when he
contract.
stays here.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Well, I guess I don't know where he hasn't been yet, but I feel like, when he's only been here a year, he's still getting acclimated to wherever he's currently living now, the football, new play, all this stuff. Now he has more time to visit whatever he feels like is going to make him a Chicagoan.
Yeah, Crystal and others are saying Harold's. Scott jumped in and said Wiener Circle. I think that's a good one too.
That's a good, yeah.
Personally, I think Orlando Mats is the Super Bowl. That's a great answer. You win a Super Bowl in Chicago, you're a Chicagoan. I was going to say you just have to sit on the Kennedy for, 5 years of your life. At that point, after sitting on the Kennedy for 5 years of your life, you're officially a Chicagoan. I think that's the barometer.
That's actually not bad. Like you do need to feel that pain. It's part of it. He's got to he has to get out of his chill DJ-ness and honk at someone on the Kennedy and really lose his mind, and then you're probably gonna feel like you're here. I think
take a shot of Malort. Take a shot of Malort. Does that make him a Chicagoan? I don't know if that does.
No,
it's just a regrettable decision. That's what it is.
Sid Luckman saying Bragg's Pool. That's in the region. That's in Indiana. We don't want to do that to DJ. I like a bunch of 79th Street's coming in here. This is good.
I love it. But I was a Chicagoan for 30 years before Malort existed. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's the first time I ever heard about it. So you don't have to get that Malort stuff out of here.
All right. And then, he said that he celebrated at Popeyes. That's where he had his dinner. So this was the moment of the press conference where Adam Hoge got really, really nervous when I was asking a question. So I needed.
Well, let's see this up. You're like, I have a personal question. Is that
I got it. I got it in there. Yeah. I got it in there.
When Carm tees you up for a personal question, you don't know where the hell he's about to go. I mean, I was worried.
Yeah. Well, so this was it. This was I wanted to know details on this Popeyes dinner.
Our celebration dinner was Popeyes. It was good too.
I pulled the wrong clip. That's a terrible job by me. That's so upsetting.
Segment failed. We tried to give it to you. We tried to let you earn your contract extension right there, and you failed.
That's just so upsetting. Oh well, these things happen.
All right. Here is what the answer was: 8-piece family dinner from Popeyes. It was classic. My son had to eat, so he tore up some chicken. Daughter ate some chicken and mashed potatoes. They tore it up, but they couldn't do spicy because the kids can't go with spicy.
Yeah. Sid Luckman put in the chat, did anyone ask DJ if he was clean? That's funny.
I went up to Patrick Goat Finley today and re-celebrated him for his amazing performance yesterday. I thought that was incredible.
I think Pat should have to ask every player the rest of preseason, are you clean or are you dirty?
He gets so many strange looks. Like, what?
DJ, did you take an extra 10 minutes in the shower yesterday to get extra clean because you've got new paper and you knew that you would be talking to the media today just for that celebration? Draw K, by the way, $10. Been with you since episode 1, but last night I finally became a diehard. Bear down. I also have an unreleased song about the Bears that I would love to get some feedback on. CHGO all day. Draw K, you hit me up on Twitter. I will give you all the feedback. And if it's phenomenal, I'll push to play it on the damn show.
Great move by you becoming a diehard last night. Love that.
We so appreciate it, Draw K. Thank you.
All right, guys, we have some stuff from Eric Washington that we are going to also get into. So before we do, I have to tell everybody about Carman, and hopefully my partner in crime is ready for this. It's getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and for the well-being for all of us who share it, Mark.
That's exactly right, Nicholas. I'm ready for you, baby. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So what should business owners do, Mark?
Well, you know exactly what they should do, Nick. They should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. It's good for business. It's good for the planet. Good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
I sure did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Well, if you are looking to go to any type of sporting event, but especially because it's the summer, maybe your Major League Baseball game, Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. You got killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seats, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time just takes the guesswork out of buying tickets, period. And look, there's so many features about Game Time that I love. And it's not just for baseball, by the way. I mean, it's great that they're partnering with MLB, but if you're looking for football tickets, you're looking for concerts, you're looking for comedy events, whatever it might be, you can find it on Game Time. They have last minute deals. They pride themselves on giving you the best deals last minute. You could save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. They're flash deals. You'll see this little yellow button pop up on the app. You can swipe it. And it's going to show you the flash deals right there in front of you. I've gotten a few of those in the past. Earlier, went to a Cubs Brewers game in Milwaukee, got a little flash deal there. Another game I went to in Milwaukee, zone deals. Just picked a certain area of the ballpark. You don't know your exact seat right away, but they get it to you by the time the game starts. You get a discount for just picking a general area of the stadium. I believe it's usually around 20% off there by doing a zone deal, but it can vary. They're going to give you all in pricing too. So you're not just, you think you're paying this and then you get to the checkout and it's like, whoa, what about all these fees? That's not how Game Time operates. You can toggle this feature on and they'll show you the total right up front. So you have no surprise fees at checkout. You can see your seats right there on the app before you buy. That's always helpful. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All righty. Before we switch over to Eric Washington, I think that we have to discuss what is actually the headline of the show today, and that is what DJ Moore had to say about Keenan Allen. So, you know, if you're going to create a list of players that would be up next for extension talks, Tevin Jenkins is on that list. You know, I don't know they're going to go down that road with Khalil Herbert, but it is a contract year for him. Jack Sanborn's entering the final year of his rookie deal because he was an undrafted free agent. So you have guys like that, but you have to think that somewhere percolating in Ryan Poles' brain after trading a 4th-round pick for Keenan Allen, who has looked as good as he has in training camp so far, working with Caleb Williams, they've at least discussed what they're willing to give Keenan Allen beyond this year, whether we're talking years or dollars. And I thought it was interesting hearing DJ Moore because he was asked today, are you going to try to convince Keenan Allen to stay now that you got your deal? And he said, I already did that. I did that yesterday. I was like, man, listen, what's your number? Let's get it done. And then he's like, I'm going to leave the number out of this. So he wasn't going to tell us the number, obviously. But he says, I think we can get it done. So it should be interesting.
So
that tells me that there's maybe been at least some discussions if Keenan Allen has a number in mind. Because I think the Keenan Allen can have a number that he wants to stay. But the question has always sort of been, do the Bears even want to go down that road yet?
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a number and DJ's talking about it like this, then maybe it is a possibility.
Yeah, and this is his 12th year, guys, too. Like, is he going to be able to stay on the field? And if he does, it's like it is enticing to, have your number 9 overall pick, your guy that you paid to be here through 2029 and DJ Moore, and then, whatever you're getting out of Keenan, it would, again, just help Caleb Williams go through this process of growing as a quarterback. Because today in one-on-ones, like, Josh Blackwell was looking crazy trying to defend Keenan Allen today. It's like he's still that good. And if he could produce and stay healthy, I could see why maybe there is a number in mind. And if they can try to get that happy medium where the team's happy, he's happy, and he could still continue playing here.
I mean, he's 32 years old. His last 2 seasons, he's played 23 games combined, 10 and 22, 13 and 23. But I get the intoxication of him because this dude gets open. He is a competitor. He has been insanely productive throughout his career. If he was to, win a Super Bowl with the Bears and put up some big numbers here, he starts to get himself into the potential Hall of Fame, world. And look, I think there's 2 sides of this, though. To me, it's both how well does he play, and also I do think, like, how good is Rome Odunze? If Rome is phenomenal, then I think that actually lowers Keenan's price. If Rome is, middling, which we all hope he's not, he's gonna, and Keenan's productive, it's gonna make him more valuable. So and DJ kind of touched on that today as far as like his numbers last year. He's like, well, now we got a lot more guys in that room, so it's gonna be super interesting to see how, who's going to get the ball and who's going to be putting up yardage and how consistent they'll be able to do it this year with the more talent that's on the roster, along with a rookie quarterback. And right now, let's call it a little bit of a shaky offensive line.
Yeah, it's also, he's making $23 million this year, and it's one of the motivations you might have would be if the Bears were up against the cap and needed to free up space, you could, extend him and move some money around. But they really don't need to do that. So until that becomes a situation that almost like works against Keenan Allen right now. I mean, paying 3 or Roman Dunze is not really getting paid. He's on a rookie deal, but just, spending more money towards a skill position guy. You locked up Cole Kmet. Now you've locked up DJ Moore. You gave DeAndre Smith significant money for a running back. It just, you got to keep in mind, like, when are you going to pay the big offensive lineman?
Yep.
Yeah, and, because even, like, you went out and paid Nate Davis last year, but that hasn't looked good, and it wasn't that much money. It wasn't, like, crazy money either. So you wonder when resources are going to be spread elsewhere.
And what? I'm seeing that Gary's putting the Mike Evans contract, and he's 30, Mike Evans. Keenan Allen's 32, and Evans got the 2-year, $41 million contract. And look, they've both been very productive throughout their careers. I don't know if that's what Keenan's going to be looking for, but yeah, I think, Adam, at some point, yes, it's really nice to have all these nice weapons, but after this season, if it doesn't go the way that the Bears maybe viewed it because the trenches wasn't where it needed to be, that's where you need to start investing the money. And I think Ryan Poles knows that too, because obviously being a former offensive lineman, you see how some of these Super Bowl teams get there. They usually have good a pass rusher that can get to the quarterback, or just a line that can keep their quarterback upright. So it'll be interesting to see how they differentiate the money and see who's actually going to get paid here or extended in the next coming years.
Well, the other side of it too, look, if you can get open and catch the ball and you've got a good connection with your quarterback, that all happens, that's a hard guy to let go of, man. That, even if Caleb is all that and, maybe he can make everybody look good. But from what I've seen early on, Keenan looks like he's going to be a hell of an asset for Caleb this year, along with, of course, the entire offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 100 catches in 1,000 yards out of the question. I mean, I know we're all concerned about the ball being spread around and how that's going to work, but it might be a quiet 100 catches.
He's had 100 catches in 4 of his last 5 seasons. The only year he didn't have it, he had 89 when he played in 10 games. So now he's catching balls for Justin Herbert. So, but that run started all the way back in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert, and that's a huge part of it. But also, he is a volume
and Phillip Rivers, I should say, too.
Receiver. I mean, and granted, yes, those offenses, they're always throwing the ball. I get it. But, I mean, that's what you kind of want to be if you're the Bears, too. So I'm not sure, if you set the over-under at like 99.5, I'm not saying I would take the over, but certainly wouldn't shock me if he does it again.
Nope, not at all.
I'm betting on him. It's. I think it's pretty obvious what he's going to bring to the table. Chevy Wellington, 1999. Boys worried about Flus. We're not a top 5 defense. Soft and cushiony lead to NFL record. Loss and blowing Lions lead. Brisker had the same concerns after the Packers game. I know a guy with almost 2 good NFL records by 24 years old. I forget his name. Okay, Chevy Wellington. Appreciate you. It was interesting to listen to Eric Washington, Hoge, if you want to go there, just talk today about, when you rush the passer today, the way the ball's coming out so fast, knocking balls down is a big thing. And, they got big decks in there. So, I mean, maybe in addition to counting the sacks this year for Gervon Dexter, we should be counting how many times he bats balls down, which obviously is a huge impact on the game.
Well, I love that conversation from Eric Washington today. I mean, and I was almost surprised at how much detail he went into that from kind of a scheme perspective and, certainly a strategy perspective, because he's saying, like, look, it's still important we collapse the pocket first. We cannot lose sight of that. Everything starts with collapsing the pocket to begin with, because if you can't do that, then teams will take more time to get the ball out. But if you can show that and put it on film that you're going to collapse the pocket, teams are going to be more motivated to get the ball out quicker. I mean, that's just obvious football. You're going to counter. If you're under pressure, you're going to counter that any way you can. And one of those ways to counter that is just to get the ball out of the hands before the defense can even get there. And then that's where it becomes very important to be able to get your hands up in the air and take away those passing lanes. And so far, we're seeing the Bears do that a lot in training camp. Which I think is a very good sign for the defense. They have a lot of length. They've put, ever since Ryan Poles got here, they put a lot of focus into body type. Matt Eberflus too, because we know he cares about that too. Body type, length, power, all those things will take advantage of that even when you can't get to the quarterback. So that's a very good sign. I also understand the concerns, and we're just not going to know the answer to this until the games start. Is this the Bears defense just being really good at batting balls down, or is this an actual problem for a quarterback who's, barely 6'1"? Now I'm going to say this over and over again. Caleb Williams is not a small quarterback. He is built very, very well, and you don't have to be worried about that from like a durability standpoint. Calling him small is not fair. Calling him short compared to some of the other quarterbacks in the league, that's just objectively probably accurate. And I think it's up to him to find creative ways to find passing lanes on his own, change his arm angles, which actually is one of his strengths. That's why I'm actually more bullish in this conversation on the Bears' defense ability to knock some of these passes down, because Caleb's pretty good at changing his arm angle and in doing some of these things to avoid those high-flying arms of the Bears' defense. So I enjoyed that conversation with Eric Washington today. He even went into, like, if teams are going to go empty on you, that's a telltale sign that they might get rid of the ball fast. So you can, even as defensive lineman, read your keys and understand, all right, I might not be able to get the quarterback here. I got to be ready to get my arms up in the air.
And I liked Washington's answer about, like, how Caleb can combat these passes that are being, batted down at the line of scrimmage. He said the great thing about Caleb, from what I've seen, is he can change his arm angles like no one I've seen. There are only a few guys who can do that, so it's even tougher to try and obstruct those windows when you can change your arm angle and still fit that ball between the rush up front and find those open seams. And look, he, obviously playing, coaching in Buffalo, he's seen guys that can change their arm angles in, Kansas City and things like that. There's only a few guys he's mentioned that can actually do that, and Caleb is one of them, which is, I think a positive. But we just need to see, I don't know, maybe there's a credit to that defensive line, because they have batted down, like I said earlier, a bunch of passes, but Caleb does have the ability to make that less because of his arm angles.
I get that we don't want to sound the alarm on the offense that balls are getting batted down, but the fact that it is happening every day, and today it happened multiple times.
And by the way, Montez Sweat wasn't even practicing today.
Right,
Nope.
and 98 wasn't out there today. Even if the defense is great, it's still not a good thing. I think Caleb is going to have to be making some level of adjustment to, figuring out his passing lanes. And even when, Keenan was talking about it, it's like, look, as long as he can, this was a while back, he's like, as long as he can see me. So, he's calling out that, sometimes, he's back there with 6'4" coming at him. It's hard to actually figure out where dudes are. We all believe that Caleb's going to be able to do this, but it's also like you see him do a lot of stuff off script. And, part of that might be, how comfortable he, what he's seeing in the pocket. Maybe sometimes he's got to move a little bit more. That might be part of the equation of how he's going to be as successful as he wants to be.
I'd be interested in talking to Chris Morgan to see if is there anything in the offensive line's part that they can do in terms of trying to, again, knock down guys when they're trying to rush, or I don't know. I wonder if they have something to do for that. If that's consistently happening, that the offensive line can tweak something and then they can maybe make it upon themselves so that we're not seeing as consistent. I don't know that answer, but be fascinating to talk to them about it.
Well, the best thing you can do is when they jump up in the air, you hit the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. If they're going to leave their feet, you put them on the ground. And they'll think twice about jumping up in the air. You also have the advantage of the offense of knowing what the play is supposed to be. If it's quick game, then you don't necessarily have to be worried about getting burned completely because the ball should be out, right?
True.
So you have the advantage of knowing I just got to kind of keep this guy in front of me right now and make sure he doesn't get in the passing lane. So do whatever I can. And you should know where the passing lanes are. You should know if it's quick game, you should know where the ball's ideally supposed to go, right? And even if the quarterback's behind you. So yes, there's 100% things you can do as offensive linemen. Not saying it's the easiest thing in the world, but the easiest, in my opinion, is if they jump up in the air, you hit the crap out of them so they think twice about it next time. Now, one of the advantages the Bears have, Montez Sweat, Gervon Dexter, is they're giants without leaving their feet. So they don't necessarily have to even jump. They just get their big paws up and they're going to knock down the passes. That's the best thing you can do from the counter as a defensive lineman, and then that makes it harder on the offensive line. All right, another $50 super chat jumping in here from Chevy Wellington. It says, polls up until now, I don't think he's done a good job.
Okay.
That's your prerogative with $50 super chat. We get it. 2 first overalls, richest team, and I just don't see it. Best players are from other regimes, teams, bad O-line, and depth still. What happens to Flus polls if we look toxic? Well, they get fired. That's how that works. If you look toxic.
God.
You guys want to jump on this?
Well, you're hoping your best player is your quarterback that you just drafted number 1 overall, right? I mean, that would definitely help in Roman Dunze. Yes, you brought in DJ Moore, Montez Sweat, but why is that that shouldn't be seen as a negative? You brought those players in. Also,
the worst part of that is you've had 2 number 1 overall picks. The other one was because of maybe what turns out to be the greatest trade in the history of the city. You were not the worst team in the league last year. You got the number 1 pick because of a trade you pulled off the year before, which included DJ Moore that you just gave $110 million because of how good he's been. So, there's a lot in there I don't agree with. Have I been critical still about the O-line, D-line? Sure, but he also got Montez Sweat for a 2nd round pick, and it's a process. I think people are maybe starting to forget how much damage had been done before Ryan Poles got here and how much he had to seriously tear this thing down the first year. And when you're going to do that, this isn't happening overnight. The Bears are getting better, but there's a reason they're not necessarily Super Bowl contenders this year. Can they contend for the playoffs? Yes. In fact, they probably should, but they're probably still a year away at least fixing the trenches with all the work they've done on the outside on both sides of the ball.
to underline what's just been said, I get the trenches concern, and yes, a great way to win in the NFL is to build from the inside out, and the Bears are doing it a little bit differently. But again, they did draft Darnell Wright 9 overall, or 10 overall, whatever, going back a spot. They did trade a second-round pick for Montez Sweat. He has on low-level moves, like he has identified guys like Andrew Billings. He did draft Braxton Jones in the 5th round. Has he swung and missed on Nate Davis? Yes. Is the center position still a big question mark? Yes, it is. They've given Kevin Jenkins a long road to get healthy because they see elite talent there. I think that's made sense. I wouldn't have punted on Tevin. Tevin's got to do it this year. If he doesn't, he's not going to be here. If he does, then maybe they can find a number where you end up with Tevin here on a longer term deal. So I get all that. And look, the talent level on the team compared to where it was is significantly better. There's no argument that can be made against that. So that's my 2 cents on Poles. I wouldn't give him an A, but I'd give him a B+. No one's going to be perfect in that spot. I just wrapping up the Washington thing. I thought the one thing he said about Austin Booker was pretty damn ass direct. Like, Austin is very confident in himself, and Washington, I just think, very grounded. What do you want to see from him? I want to see him hit the quarterback, period. I want to see him hit the quarterback. I want to see him to use his speed and everything that he's been working on that's been poured into him so far, the investment he's made. I want to see him put himself in position to hit the quarterback and take the ball away from him. I mean, that's one guy that you'll be paying a lot of attention to tomorrow night with starters not going. So, I mean, I know we got pregame tomorrow. We can kind of go into a whole thing of what we're looking for, but, just kind of getting, at least jumping ahead a second here. I thought that was interesting. That pretty direct what he wants to see, which, not reinventing the defensive identity of a guy who's trying to get to the quarterback. That's his job, but I liked hearing it from him.
Yeah, and Booker's, he hasn't played a lot. Like, he has really one full college season. So this is going to be, the preseason is going to be huge for him to just get those reps to see what works, what doesn't work, his unorthodox way of getting to the quarterback, as his defensive line coach described him as. So he's going to be definitely one of the players that I'm sure a lot of Bears fans are going to be keyed in on as we're watching this entire preseason.
Yeah, and I just think it's a good challenge. Take what you've done so far and look good in camp, and they've put him in there with the one sometimes. But hey, it's the preseason. You're allowed to hit the quarterback tomorrow night. Whoever that quarterback is, go hit him. Go shoot. Take this to the field. I'm sure that's what's kind of was behind those comments.
He was asked too about calling plays. Do you guys want Eric Washington calling plays, or do we just want to leave that to Flus?
I thought that was a great question from Nick. Because I was wondering the same thing. A lot of times, just so fans understand this, a lot of times in the preseason, head coaches will, if they're the ones who call plays on either offense or defense, they'll let their coordinators do it just to get some experience. Sometimes you'll have an established coordinator, you'll let your quarterback coach do it. And sometimes even just for a quarter, sometimes for a half, sometimes for a whole game. They mess around with it a little bit to get some guys some experience. You also are planning for, what if a coach gets COVID and misses a game? Who's the next guy up to call the plays? So these are all things that get worked out a little bit in the preseason. So it's a good question by Nick. I also understood why Eric Washington was uncomfortable answering it. He basically said, I'm going to defer to Matt Eberflus on that. But yeah, he's calling the defense. I'm not sure I'm 100% buying that. I'd like to hear Matt Eberflus answer the same question, because I have a feeling at some point in the preseason, Eric Washington is going to get some opportunity to call some of the defense.
I think so. I mean, even in the practice today, you're hearing him call out, "Hey, we're in the nickel, putting out the packages out there." So he's more than capable, I think. But when it comes, just even as the season goes on, you guys, there's a lot on Matt Eberflus's plate. If he's the head coach, but also the play caller, if he can, put one of those roles on his defensive coordinator who has plenty of experience, that just makes his job a lot easier. I get if he wants to have the defensive calls in his hands, it live and die by him, but it would, I think, just take a load off of what he has to do on a daily basis. But yeah, like you met, or Adam, I want to see at maybe preseason game number 4 against the Chiefs. That would be a great opportunity, I think, to call plays.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's I don't know, Nick, are there any players? I think we save more of who's playing, who's not playing for tomorrow's pregame show. We do have a pregame tomorrow for a full hour leading up to the show. We also, I don't know, sometimes they'll give us a dress list or who didn't dress list before the game. And Nick, you'll be there in Canton, so you can, help chime in on that in the pregame show. The reality of how they did practice today, I was just doing the math at some of these positions. Some of the guys that were on field 1 in pads are still going to have to play tomorrow night because they had one running back on field 2, Demetric Felton. So, I mean, he's not playing the whole game. And, I mean, I think he's going to play a lot. But if he got hurt, who's coming in? So some of these guys are still going to have to dress. I'm also wondering, like, with the kickoff, is Jack Sanborn really not going to play? He's on kickoff return. I would want to get these guys the reps. You're only going to get so many during the preseason. It's not like you're getting 10 kickoffs a game. There's only so many opportunities to rep this stuff.
Yeah, I think it would be really beneficial too. I mean, I would have to go back and see who they actually have in that starting kickoff return unit, but like, this is your chance to try it out, because if you're going to wait till the regular season to actually put your starting kickoff return unit out there, like, that's not the time. I think you do test it out in the preseason at some point. But just kind of looking at who was on one field over the other, like Velus Jones Jr., he looks like he's going to be playing in the preseason. Like, that's a guy who I think needs to play. And then Reddy Stewart, the DB that was going in for Kyler Gordon with the first team in yesterday's practice, he was over there at the second field practicing for, what should be some meaningful reps in the Hall of Fame game. So there's definitely going to be some guys to key in on.
I mean, you're leaving out the big question, which is how long are they going to play Tyson Bagent tomorrow? Does he get a full half? Does he get 3/4? What are they going to do there? How much time does Rippon get? Does Reed get the entire fourth quarter? I'm thinking it'll be a half for Bagent, quarter for Rippon, quarter for Reed. Let's go with that. And, like, how much are they going to let him throw the ball on national TV, which, if he's lighting it up, which I'm assuming he will, if Tyler Scott can catch the football, then next thing you know, I mean, we might be talking about what can you get for Tyson Bagent if he has a big night under the lights once again. I mean, this guy's been on primetime a lot. He gets another opportunity to shine.
Yes.
Didn't cross my mind a single time.
Bagent this is a good platform for him, for real now. People, Kaduk had a content tweeting out like, yeah, no starters, and this game is going to get rated higher than the NBA Finals and NASCAR and the rest of Chicago baseball games combined the rest of the way. We'll have more people watching this Bears game tomorrow night.
I will tell you, though, I am interested to see what the ratings are. They will most likely be lower than last year's Hall of Fame game, I would think, because you're going up against the Olympics. And I don't know if you guys have been seeing the Olympics numbers. They are unbelievable. They're doing like NFL playoff numbers right now, like 27, 30 million a night to watch shit that happened 4 hours earlier. It's very impressive. So you're going up against that tomorrow night. And also, Carm, keep that in mind when you're freaking out about our pregame numbers too. Going up against the Olympics.
Okay, bring it on, Olympics. People are going to be clicking off tomorrow. They're coming right to us. I mean, come on. You want to watch badminton or what have you guys been watching? Ping pong? I love ping pong. I can't watch ping pong.
I watched the table tennis. Like, that was entertaining. Mark, you got to give it another shot.
Okay, I just
the coolest was the women's rugby 7-on-7s winning on a walk-off over Australia for, I believe, the bronze medal. That was awesome.
I have enjoyed rugby, and please, NFL, can you just adopt the rugby rules as far as where somebody was tackled? They are so much better at that. Oh, was his knee down? No, they don't do that in rugby. The ball crossed the plane, move it along, chop, entertain me.
Well,
yes.
There's actually news on that today, Carm, which we had actually talked about a little bit before. This had been out there previously, but I know Adam Schefter put it out again today. Now that Sony is officially on board, announced this morning as a partner of the NFL, Hawkeye technology will be tested out this preseason for spotting the football. And there's a chance it could be up and running this season, although it sounds like more likely next year will be full-blown Hawkeye technology. And just to be clear, it has nothing to do with that stupid clock behind Nick. It's the technology that spots the tennis balls in tennis which is the one great thing about tennis, is their ability to quickly review if the ball was in or out accurately. I love it.
The thing about Hawkeye, too, and for those of you non-tennis fans out there, get involved in the greatest sport of all time. But it is amazing. Boom, boom, right to the thing, in or out, bang, move it along, game keeps going. It's phenomenal how they've done it. Now, and by the way, that Hawkeye thing, you talk to anybody around tennis, it ain't 100%, but it's taken as 100%. Like, that thing's not perfect, but it's considered perfect. Nobody ever argues it. There's nowhere to go. So I think that's phenomenal for the NFL.
It's got to be more perfect than two old guys carrying a chain out there.
Oh, of course.
By the way, there's no way that chain's going down in the exact same spot every time. And I know exactly how they do it. They do the chain link and they put it right on the white halfway through, so they know exactly where to put it. It's not the same.
But how are they? I mean, I'm sure these are some really smart people who figure this out. But how are they going to know exactly when the knee goes down where the ball is? How do they do that? Like.
I don't know the extent of the Hawkeye thing and if they're going to be able to spot the ball perfectly, but they should at least be able to, review it and know if it's a first down more accurately.
I would get, okay. I mean, I would get how it would work on a punt. Yeah. Like, did it go out of bounds? Where did it go out of bounds? All that type of stuff.
All right, let's get to super chats here, and then I want to bring up the greatest rivalry that's developing so far at Bears camp we're almost into August here, but it's a big one. You're going to want to hear about it. Michael 199 is asking Carm. Nobody else. This is your question, Mark Carman. Who is the next sand god, bay god?
It's a great question. And I got to go to my Hoge sheet because his name is slipping my mind right now, which is unfortunate. But I mean, I will be paying close attention tomorrow night whenever he gets the opportunity because he is getting a lot of attention. Or the rookie out of Troy, Reddy Stewart. I mean, this guy could be the stewer that
the stew god.
The stew god.
Stew god.
Stew it up. An unbelievable pot of stew. He could be providing us the comfort food of just knowing that he's not going to get beat back there. Reddy Stewart. Are you ready? We'll find out starting tomorrow night in the Hall of Fame game.
I'm not a stew guy.
No?
Somebody.
You don't like a good stew?
I don't like the consistency of it.
What about a pot roast?
Whatever.
Like a pot roast? Fall off. Oh, come on, Hoge.
I like Family Farms bacon wrapped chicken. That's what I like.
I like
football.
Hogan.
CF Candy 199 pounds sterling. Add one non-quarterback in the league to the team. Who would it be?
Myles Garrett. Boom.
Wow, that was a quick answer.
Micah Parsons.
Ooh, okay, going pass rushers. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
tackle. Any tackles that we like?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say Chris Jones, but I don't know.
See, you're going pass rushers. And so is the chat. Chris Jones,
Yeah.
TJ Watt. Okay. We're all thinking the same thing here. Oh, Laramie Tunsil. Okay. There we go. Take CJ Stroud's left tackle.
Laramie Tunsil would be pretty good. Tristan Wirfs, Penei Sewell. Yeah, I would take it.
Yeah, okay, yep. Those are good.
Jason Kelsey, bring him out of retirement.
Another
he's in Paris. I think he retired just so he can go to the Olympics. When he gets home, give him a ring.
Don't you think it's weird watching NFL players sit there and watch gymnastics? I find it bizarre. Like Jason Kelsey, because I don't think you understand anything that's going on, and like you're this big burly guy who just I'm boxing you in, and it's wrong of me. It's 100% wrong. I don't think
I already know the answer to this question, so I don't even know why I'm going to ask it. Just consider it rhetorical. But did you watch Jonathan Owens last night?
I did. He was great.
He's taking notes. My son even goes, he looks at me because he was at, I think it was only because he was at practice history. He's like, he's taking notes like you do, Daddy.
Oh,
I was
my
honored.
God. That is unbelievable.
That's
Deep
true,
down,
100% true story.
Deep down, your son knows what a nerd you are. That's incredible.
Yeah. He should.
That's love.
He used to deal with me every day, just like you two do. Yeah.
James, Are you coloring within the lines? You must color within the line. That must have been tough for James. Stay.
I don't worry
No.
about that.
Oh, okay. What's the most Hoge-esque thing you worry about as a dad that you probably might not necessarily need to worry about? Do you have anything that pops to mind?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll give you one specific one. Eat over your damn plate.
It's a good one.
And like, just, it's such a simple thing. Like, kids are going to be messy. I get it. I'm not expecting them to be perfect. But if there was one thing I think I actually made progress with my niece and nephew when they were with us for a month, it was that. Because they, two of the messiest children I've ever been around in my entire life, especially compared to ours. And that's fine. But if we made progress anywhere, it was that both of them were actually eating over their plate by the time they left us. And I took great pride in that.
Did I drive you nuts today at practice when I was eating my chips?
I remember backing up to the start of the show, we did not watch practice together today.
I'm talking about post game when I was sitting there with
You
you.
were loud. You were loud eating your chips.
It was a very loud chip, and I was worried that I was annoying everybody. But I kept going after them because they were so delicious.
I used to get on Peggy Kaczynski because she typed so loud. The microphones above us in the press conference room that pick up our questions would pick up her typing. And she's still to this day in denial that it was her, despite the fact that it no longer happens and she's rarely ever in that room anymore.
That's bold to go at Peggy. You're going at royalty.
I get it. 1,000%. Way huge royalty, way above me. But you know when it really got to me is when we were on the same American Airlines flight together.
She was banging away on the flight that kept you up. You couldn't get to sleep. Nope, that was the wrong language. I get it. That's not what I meant, Peggy. You would never. You're a professional. She was typing too loud.
The best thing about Peggy Kaczynski is she would find what you just said hilarious.
Yes, I know. So
somewhere she's gonna get a hold of that and love that conversation.
Well, my first ever internship at 1000, Peggy was there doing news or sports or contributing and whatnot. So I've known the Peg a long time.
All right, because we're on that, we'll get to the rest of Supers in a second. I'm gonna bring up the best rivalry that's developing at training camp so far, and without question, it is a different Chicago media legend, and Mark Carman, because Jeff Joniak. We brought up the banter the other day, and today was even better. He's standing over Carm's shoulder for like 10 seconds without Carm having any idea he's behind him. And then Carm turns around, finally realizes it, and was like, "Yes, Jeff." And Joniak just looks at him and goes, "Have you lost weight?" And Carm goes, "No." And Joniak goes, "Well, you might want to think about it."
Yeah, dude, JJ just straight called me fat right to my face to start my day. Said he was watching the show, that I looked horrible, and I hated it. And then I struck back, like, I'm the best athlete in this room, know that. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I'm like, "Look, you call me fat, I'm gonna come back hard. Who wants to take me on?" And then Nick's like, "Well, I'm a better football player than you, Carm." And I was like, "No, that's probably true."
Well,
I love that rivalry though between you and Jeff. It's so entertaining.
I hope it continues every day. I am greatly enjoying it. I have my money on Joniak.
I've told the Joniak story numerous times, but I'll tell it one more time that he wouldn't be the voice of the Bears if I was a good football play-by-play guy. You know the story, Hoge? You know what I'm talking about?
Is this how you take credit for everybody's success in the business?
Exactly right.
If I was better than Yes. Okay.
I was doing high school play-by-play football, 98, 99, 2000, somewhere in there. Sycamore Spartans and the DeKalb Barbs. And Bill Baker, the voice of the Huskies, was sick. And I was also doing PA for NIU football. And so Baker's like, "Hey, do you want to do the game? I'm going to miss it." I'm like, "Yes, I do. That's the greatest thing that's ever been offered me." And so I thought that I was going to get my chance to call a college football game. And Mike Korsick, SID emeritus, great man, good friend, but straight dogged me on this one. He was like, he just ripped it away from me. Carm, we need you on PA. I've got somebody else for that. And that's when Joniak came down, tried out doing the NIU game, and that was his audition for the Bears gig. And he did so damn ass well that he's now been doing it longer than anyone's ever done it in that room. But if I was good and Corsic had faith, then I would have had that gig. Joniak never would have tried out. He might not have never gotten the gig. So Bears fans, you can thank me that I sucked at play-by-play football. My basketball is incredible. And Joniak took off. You're welcome.
Thank goodness for you, Carm. Thank goodness for you.
I don't think they'll hesitate to thank you on this one. I didn't know that story.
It's a true
That's
story.
great.
I was so unbelievably not happy about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
Yeah.
But
as I tried to tell you today, you might have been insulted by him calling you fat, but the big headline in what he said to you was that he was watching this show.
that was huge.
Yeah,
JJ loves this program.
So I think
Watching
you'll
right
take
now.
that trade. Yeah. Well, he said he likes certain aspects of this program.
Can't win 'em all.
But one of the things we do love about this is like things like this, like Quackinator 100 dropping in with a $5 super chat, saying, "Give me Carms. What did you get at Popeyes? Questions any day over Hoge's. Is the practice field grass cut at different heights?"
Thank you, Quackinator.
You know,
So
but what's
different
great
items.
about this show, Quackinators, you get both. All right, you get both. You don't have to choose. It's kind of like Miller Lite. You great taste, less fill. You don't have to choose. You get both. That's the best part of it. All right. And I was staring at that grass today where I was sitting. I am going to challenge Flus. It's not just that it's greener. I swear is higher. It's not cut to the same length. I'm going to get out there with a micro whatever, a magnifying glass. That's what I was going for. Not a microscope. Magnifying glass. And I'm going to inspect the grass.
Just know that one of Bears PR came up to me and said to me, he's like, I never knew that we had different sizes of grass until your guy asked the question. So
Yeah. And it sounds like they were
People are
mocking
talking
me.
about
But
it.
if you learned something from my question, then I accomplished my job.
I don't think it actually was a mock. It was maybe a confused, but I don't think they were. I don't think it was a full mock. If we're being
About
accurate.
grass.
Now I want to know who it was.
Nope. At least not on this show. But
AM Whiskey 4.99 jumping in with the super chat.
I'll
As
go
a
get
Bears, as a Bears fan and a whiskey geek, I need to know what your go-to bourbon is. Well, for me, because I mostly drink old fashions, I typically, more times than not, will do a Maker's old fashioned. However, when I do sip it on the rocks or neat, big fan of High West. And is that the good stuff you got me that one time?
yeah, this is Bull Run, and
That was some of the best stuff I've ever had. Oh boy,
Oh, this is sick.
that's not
Mark's
how
pulling
you're
a
supposed
Greg
to drink
Braggs
that.
right now.
That's not how you're supposed to drink that.
How
there's
was
no,
that, Mark?
There's no definition. That was a delicious half of a sip. Thank you very much. I'm a professional. I do not overindulge on this program, even when there's 2 minutes left, and I have to write an outstanding piece. And I've
That
got
Nick
tennis
has to
tonight.
edit. Okay.
Kadek's been doing the editing lately.
Yeah.
Nick only had to do it once. Thank you.
It was glorious.
Shout out to Jay Henry.
Nick has to do it.
Jay Henry too, based out of Madison, Wisconsin. It's another good one. All right. B. Is that an
Oh, there we go.
BLS 999 compared to Biscuit and Field of Dreams camps? How different has Caleb's camp been? I know he's running into with the ones in preseason, hard to compare, but try. Thanks, go Dan Feeney Carm.
Dan Feeney. Wow. Blast from the past.
Yeah. This guy's amazing. So
Compare-
Biscuit is
compare
Trubisky? He's calling Mitch Trubisky Biscuit? Do I have that right?
Yeah, that was a nickname at one point.
It was? I forgot that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had this
It's
question a
hard,
few
man.
times already. I it's hard to compare. I think Caleb's been. Caleb's just better. I don't know what to tell you. He's just better.
Yeah. Listen. Let me remind everybody here. Last year, we had to go into the show and we had to think about how we could say nicely that Justin wasn't great today. Like, we really had to work on that. And because you all were so unbelievably sensitive about it, which I got because Justin was such a great guy and we wanted him to do well and he had all his flashes. But that's what it was last year. They did not look good. There was one day in 7-on-7s where they connected and looked phenomenal, but most of the time it was stunningly bad, and you knew they were in trouble. And I was coming on the show. The only thing I said was, "I'll just tell you one thing: he ain't gonna be the MVP. I'll promise you that." So it's better. And
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good
and
answer.
Trubisky, yeah, and Trubisky sucked. Thanks.
just
Chevy Wellington, $20 trading away the prettiest girl first overall at the party isn't hard. Love DJ, love Sweat, but come on, he missed on Jalen Carter. Claypool, his best trait is luck, honestly. Get our boy in O-line so my hair grows back.
That's what it takes to grow your hair back.
You're not wrong to be concerned about it, Chevy Wellington, honestly. If you want to be concerned,
but those are two different things. Like, yes, you could still be concerned about the O-line, but trying to not give Poles credit for what he's done here in 2.5 years is a reach of all reaches, I have to say at this point. Jeff 999, is it appropriate to ask to set the presser? The team was not ready to play week 1 last year. What changes have you made this training camp to be better prepared against the Titans? That is a good question, Jeff. I think it's kind of already been asked and answered in a few different ways, depending on what we're specifically talking about, whether that's, practices one day or, preseason reps another day. But I think that's definitely a good question, Jeff. It's appropriate.
Yeah, and Jeff, I called myself out as my worst yesterday that I did not push a little bit harder on them, on Flus not playing the starters tomorrow. Like I just told him straight up no, as far as Caleb. Caleb wanted to play, so, and you guys went even more in depth on the show today. I didn't think about it this far, and I should have. But look, it's a whole new special teams. You telling me that your starters out there tomorrow couldn't use to figure out what they're doing with everything thrown upside down? That seems important too. So I don't like it.
We'll see. We could talk more about that in the pregame show tomorrow. We got to wrap this one up. Big Cram 999 says, surprised Carm isn't watching women's volleyball for betting purposes, of course.
Yeah. Well, also at Northern Illinois, I was the public address announcer for the women's volleyball team, and I was 25 at that time, and that was a tough gig.
Well, regardless, women's volleyball is actually extremely entertaining to watch. It's like going to new levels. Like, give me Big Ten volleyball season coming again, and not just because Wisconsin's awesome at it, which they are, but it is actually it gets nerve-wracking when you get to the NCAA tournament. Another Chevy, keep these coming, man. I love it. I like this little game. You keep giving us super chats. I'll keep swatting them down as long as they keep coming. Hoge, you're giving Poles too much credit. I love DJ, but trading away the first overall pick isn't hard because Chicago had the commodity. Has to be included when you say the greatest trade in Chicago history. Yes, but Chevy, that was by design. He did that on purpose. They had a complete rebuild year to get that draft commodity. It wasn't like he made all these mistakes and they were bad. It was a complete teardown. It was part of the process. And then one with Caleb was a no-brainer. Completely agree on that. No one's saying the luck's not part of this. The luckiest play of all time happened on that 4th and 20 to even get the Bears the number 1 pick 2 years ago that led to all this. He's lucky. That's his best trait.
And Davis Mills, he's going to be playing in the Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Bears fans could thank him when they're in Canton. Like, yes, that luck was a part of it, but Bears still ended up getting the number 1 overall pick.
Chevy, let me help you with your attack in your argument. Attack's probably too strong, but with your argument with Hoge. They passed on C.J. Stroud. He was the offensive rookie of the year. That could be something you could add into where, by the way, the Texans would have passed on CJ Stroud if they had the first overall pick by everyone's reporting. So, you'd have to be a genius to do it, but that could be part of the equation of where you're going with your polls, trying to knock them down a peg or two.
And then we end with Crystal, $20. She says, Hoge, I love the nerd in you, but old-fashioned as your go-to drink is top tier. That's my drink of choice as well. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Bear down. Crystal, we love you too. I'm thinking old-fashions at a Bears tailgate this year.
Oof. You're not going to get a complaint from me, but I got to tell you, when I go old-fashions, I don't sleep well. That impacts the old man Carm over here. I'm up at 3 a.m. for the 6th P, and I'm just How many are you having? 2. Well, actually 1, but like combined with the beer or the wine, it just I don't.
Okay, so that's your problem.
I'm sure Greg's gonna have his fair share, so I think it'll be up. They're gonna be there.
Big Cram, $20, jumping in one more time. Always someone trying to be different.
Whatever, Big Cram.
Appreciate the super chat though.
Old fashioned at noon, I think I'm good with. Down,
Grady,
Crystal.
Grady, thank you. I agree. This was a great show. And we waited until an hour and 20 minutes in to even mention Greg Brax's victory lap that he's been on. I hope he continues to enjoy it. One of the greatest. It takes a man of genius to come up with the take that the Bears should extend their best player. I mean, who could ever think of that?
Hey, he was the forefront. He was on top of it.
How do you think Michael Jordan ever got contract extensions, right? This guy's pretty good. We should probably extend him. Oh, Derrick Rose, he has a great MVP year. Maybe we should give him a contract extension. I think we really got something here with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. I think we should extend them. Nobody thinks of this stuff, only Greg. So congrats to him. It's a wonderful victory lap. We were all, if you were up between the hours of 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. today, you lived it in real time on Twitter.
He got marked. He's dying.
Oh, God. Gregory, we love you, and you're brilliant, and I don't care what Hoge is saying. That was the most brilliant thing I've ever heard on any airwaves anywhere. Extend DJ! And I told you to do it, damn it.
What?
He's at the dock today, so he's not listening.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
if he could pull a 9-minute clip from June 3rd to throw up on Twitter.
I did not watch all of it, to be completely honest. When I saw it was 9 minutes,
Well, he at least left in the last 2 sentences where I said, "Hey, if DJ is willing to take a little bit of a discount, then I would do it."
And just for the record, I did Greg a solid today. I was walking out. I think I took a wrong turn, and somehow I ended up behind all the concession stands. I was looking to try to get my way out of the parking lot, and there was a full crate of Dr. Pepper Zero. So I hope the Bears aren't listening. I just took a 12-pack. I put it in the grass for Bragg so he can find it when he comes back out to training camp, and he can slug down all his Dr. Pepper Zero. There you go, Gregory. Saving you money, buddy. It's behind Bear Tree. Just go into the woods and go find it. There's a Dr. Pepper. There's a case of Dr. Pepper Zero somewhere behind the ADA booth alongside Field 3 for you when you come back.
You're going to have the man on crutches go into the woods to find Dr. Pepper that's been sitting out there.
It's there for you. Just keep going. Keep going. I put it out there.
All the way out there.
I'm just going to assume none of that is actually true, but
no, it's true. It's way deep in the woods. But it's there. Just a couple more feet. Just keep looking for it.
Keep going.
Last day to buy your tickets to London. Come with us. Tickets to the game is included. If you're having trouble getting tickets to the game, come with us. London, truefantravel.com. We're going to have an awesome pregame tailgate. Maybe we'll have some old fashions there. Who knows? We're going to have a private boat cruise, hotel accommodation. There's flight options if you need those. Much more to come, including our live shows that we'll be doing from London as well. Come sign up, and we'll have fun. Also, we have a golf outing coming up on August 23rd. It's the Kickoff Classic, second year in a row we've done this. It's a lot of fun. Sign up for that. Go to our events page at allchgo.com. Sign up, get your foursome going. CHGO Kickoff Classic, 9 a.m. shotgun start at Cog Hill, course number 2. Going to be a lot of fun that day. Bears are off. I believe we will all be there. We're going to have a lot of fun. Come join us. Our golf outings are outstanding if you haven't been to one yet. So come join us.
Pre-game show tomorrow for those who are asking is at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, 1 hour before kickoff, and then, of course, we're on after the game until we run out of thoughts. So that could be, at least a 28-minute show tomorrow night.
Wow. What about Bajan? Bajan Talk's going to be at least 20,
That's true. 3 hours and 28 minutes. We're going to be on for, this could be a significant breakdown. We're going to do each play.
Nick's going to be in Canton all weekend, so stay tuned for his coverage. And Braggs is now spending money to say, unmute me, Hoge. See, this is where I get inside your brain. I never actually muted you. I just didn't respond to your tweets all day. So you thought I muted you, but I never actually did, because I would never do that to you, Greg. I love you too much. Greg will be back with us tomorrow night on the pregame show and the postgame show. And, whoever he says they should extend next will be who Ryan Poles will extend next, because that is the genius of Greg Braggs Jr. Pregame tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Yes, Carm, you got one more thing or no?
No, I'm all good. Fun show, y'all. Can't wait for tomorrow. We have football.
We'll talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.